All right, guys, welcome to another live stream. Welcome to another live stream. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. All right, so today we'll do a market update, go over the market, and then we'll play some chess. Let me do a quick mic check. Quick mic check. Give me just a second. Quick mic check. Got to make sure this mic is working, because if we don't, it won't work. Update, go over the market, and then we'll play some chess. Let me do a quick mic check. Quick mic check. Give me just a second. All right, looks like the mic is working perfectly. All right, so it looks like the market's a little bit down today. If we look at the SPY, it's sitting at $433.30, and it looks like it's down 0.01% for the day. BTC is slightly down 1%, 1.3% today, sitting at 116,000. I think over the weekend we got to like 115. 115. I don't know if we got to 114, but I think it was around 115. It looks like it's bouncing back a little bit, but it's still down 1.3%. I think last week we were I'm not sure if it was last week we were at 120, 123, but the market took a little bit of a dip. And I think that it was just the PPI data that came out, and it was getting people worried about, whether we were to get that rate cut in September. And if we look at the Fed Watch tool, it's set for 85 to 90%. So most likely we're still going to get that federal rate cut. It's just going to depend on how much that rate cut is going to be. All right. Okay. It says here's an update to the minute snapshot. U.S. All right, market overview. So it says major indices traded broadly steady, hovering near record highs as markets await upcoming retail earnings. Remember, we talked about retail earnings. This week is going to be, I believe it was Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, and then it was some other major retailer. But we were saying how, depending on how those earnings come out, we could tell how the economy is doing, because those are kind of stores that people use on a daily basis. So if they're not producing good earnings, or earnings slightly lower than the previous, it's an indication of how the market is doing, right? From an economy perspective. Okay, so retail earnings, critical remarks from Federal Chair Jerome Powell at Jackson Hole later this week. So yeah, so it looks like Jerome Powell will be doing some type of speech this week at Jackson Hall. I think they meant to say Hall, but it says Hole, or maybe it is Hole. So yeah, and what people are looking for is him to be, bullish on giving a rate cut in September. They want his speech to be about, okay, we're seeing inflation taper off. Maybe we didn't have favorable PPI data, but we are trending towards a rate cut in September. Now, I'm not sure if he's going to talk about the amount of the rate cut. Is it going to be 25, 50, 75? Most people are predicting 25 to 50 basis points. I don't think it's going to get any higher than that, just from what the numbers are saying, people's predictions, and so on and so forth. But either way, any type of rate cut will be very positive for the market, and push some liquidity in some of these stocks and cryptos, right? Okay, so it says Dow futures edge slightly lower alongside modest dips in S&P and NASDAQ futures. Meanwhile, oil and gold futures tick upward. Okay, so notable movers today. Dayforce surged 25 to 26%. I'm not sure what Dayforce is. What is Dayforce? What is Dayforce? Haven't heard of that company. Dayforce is a cloud-based human capital management platform developed by Ceridian. It's essentially an all-in-one software system that companies use to manage their workforce. Okay, so maybe it's almost like ADP or something like that. Okay, so they did 25, and I wonder why they went up. That's all big, 25 to 26%. That's pretty good. Maybe they reported good earnings or something like that. Okay, what's next here? So Dayforce, so that was one stock. Novo Nordisk climbed 3.7% after FDA approved its Wegovy treatment for MASH plus pricing details for Ozempic. Again, I'm not sure what that is, but it looks like some type of medical treatment that got approved. Usually like these biotech companies, they get these phase one, phase two, phase three approvals, and they go shoot up in price. United Health gained 1.5% following Berkshire Hathaway's announcement of a $1.6 billion stake. I'm not sure if that's a recent stake or maybe they added to that position. But 1.6 billion from Berkshire Hathaway. Usually, when who's the guy? Um, who's the guy that runs it? It's the old Warren Buffett. Usually, when he invests in a company, it just signals that it's bullish. He's a really good investor. He's been investing for, I think the guy's close to 100 years old. So when he invests in a company, people pay attention. And to have a $1.6 billion stake, that just shows you that, he has interest and he sees a future in the company. Okay, solar-related names. First Solar, Sunrun, Enphase Energy, as well as Duolingo and TeraWulf posted gains thanks to positive catalysts like tax credits, analyst support, and funding news. All right, so that's that. All right, so we drop back down. We talked about Bitcoin, but crypto and digital assets in general, the crypto market is under a little bit of pressure. Remember, we said Bitcoin dropped a little bit, 2 to 3%, retreating back to that 115. Right now, it's sitting at 116. Broader crypto declines are driven by geopolitical uncertainties and shifting views on Fed policy. So again, the Fed policy, a lot of people are, they're looking forward to this rate cut. Hopefully that percentage does not go down. Right now it's sitting at 85 to 90%, and hopefully it stays around there as we get closer to the end of August, and we could get this rate cut. And then also, we need to be paying attention to Bitcoin dominance. We need to make sure that that's not going up. I was checking it this morning and it was at 59.7%. So it was still trending towards that 60%. We really needed to start breaking down, getting into that 58, 57%. And then we can officially say, okay, we're in this altcoin season. And then that also with Ethereum breaking its all-time high. So when Ethereum, breaks that $5,000 mark, convincingly too, we don't want it to pop up and then pop back down, but have that break $5,000 convincingly, along with the Bitcoin dominance going down. And then there was one more thing. I was watching the the Coin Bureau trading channel. I forget the guy's name that does. It's not Ben Cowan. It's somebody else. He does a really good analysis. But he was saying 3 indicators that would signal altcoin season. The first one was Bitcoin dominance cracking 59%, going closer to 58. The second was Ethereum hitting all-time highs. And then the third, I'm trying to remember the third one. What was the third one? I'm not sure if it was another indicator or something with liquidity. But yeah, those are the major two. Ethereum hitting its all-time highs, and then the Bitcoin dominance cracking below 59%. All right. Okay. Yet activity and interest remain strong. Bitcoin and Ethereum spot ETFs in the U.S. saw record trading volume, about 39.3%. 39.3 billion. Yeah. So for me, this is just more of a shakeout. And honestly, this wasn't that bad of a crash. I mean, we had some significant crashes so far this cycle. We had BTC go from, I remember when it hit 109 and then it came back all the way down to like 88, 89,000. That was a lot more significant. And again, people were writing headlines and saying, okay, it's over, the crypto market's over, and so on and so forth. So we've had worse crashes this cycle. 115 is still pretty good. I mean, if you really think about it, when we think about end of 2024, end of year, beginning of 2024, end of 2024, we were sitting at 50, 60,000. So the fact that we're sitting $15,000 above 100K, we're in a really good position, especially, if you're a crypto investor. Crypto exchange Gemini filed for an IPO, planning to list under the ticker Gemini. That's actually pretty interesting. Gemini has been around for a while. So it'll be a good IPO to pay attention to because Circle just did their IPO recently, and they did pretty well. I think they were like when they IPO, they were like 20 to 30 bucks, and now they're like I think they're at 200 bucks. Let's see what Circle's at. What price? I could just Circle stock 141, but I think it reached all time high. Yeah, so it reached an all time high of 263, and I think it IPO'd around 40, 50 bucks. So, Gemini would be a good company to look out for, especially, if it IPOs here in the next month or so, especially for the next bull cycle, right? Because we're looking at Coinbase, um, and Coinbase is kind of peaking. Coinbase is like at 230, 240, I think, right? Let's see what Coinbase is at. Oh, I'm wrong. Coinbase is at 320. So, and Gemini has been around, I mean, close to as long as how long Coinbase has been around. So, it's going to be very interesting to see where they IPO at. In my opinion, the fact that Coinbase, Circle have IPO'd and they've gone to, Coinbase is sitting at $82 billion valuation, and Circle is, Circle's at 35, right? 35 billion. Now, Circle does a little bit, their business model is a little bit different. They deal with stablecoin, and they're onboarding institutional, but they're kind of in the same space, right? So if Circle and Coinbase are any indication of where Gemini can go, it's probably sitting at least at a $20 billion valuation, right? So it may start there, like Coinbase started at a pretty decently high valuation, and then it crashed, and then as the bull market came, you saw that they benefited because they hold Bitcoin on the balance sheet. So as Bitcoin does good, these companies do well, right? So it just makes sense. All right, so let's see. I think that was pretty much it. Um, yeah, they're talking about injective and other stuff. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. Not much to talk about in the market. I think as we get into the end of the week, we'll get more news about Jerome Powell, his meeting there. I think we'll probably get some stuff with the Ukraine and Russia. That's the administration is meeting up with the leaders of those two countries, and the news on whether they're going to continue the war or not will also affect the markets. So yeah, as this week plays out, we'll probably get 2 to 3 more pieces of key information that will tell us how the market's going to play out for the end of August, right? All right, that's pretty much it. Let's play some chess. I'm not going to play rapid. I will play 2 to 3 games of blitz. Let's see what he does. All right, I'm going to take here. Take this. Oh, darn it. Darn it. And I left that. That was terrible that I left that open. Oh, wow, he didn't take it. He didn't see it. I don't know how I missed that, though. They don't like that. Darn it. Nobody. Mm, let's do this. I can't do that. Take it. Yeah, he's won this game. All right. Um, whatever. I'm not gonna win this one. Had her sacrifice. Oh, that one was all right. All right, he's gonna run the rematch. Let's get it. That was the first game of the day, so gotta give me some leeway. All right, we'll get this W right now. All right, want to do that. That's what I see. There we go. All right, moved here. Her. All right, now it's time to attack here. It is time to attack. Oof. If he takes that pawn, he's done. Oh, he can't take the pawn. Never mind. For some reason, I thought he could take the pawn. Oh, did he switch? Yeah, that's what he wanted to do. I thought he was going for that pawn, which was going to be a huge mistake. All right. I got him on time, though, for sure. Ah, you gotta be kidding me. Actually, I'm gonna win this. He got 44 seconds. There's no way. Actually, I wonder if I could take this and bring this up. There we go. Checkmate. Checkmate. Want to do a rematch? All right. This is the last one. Last game. Last game. All right. I think it should be fine. Hmm. There we go. Pressure, boy. Ooh, that was a good move right there. Um, that was a really good move. Ah, darn it. Hmm. That was really good. And I can't even take that. All right. That was a really good move. All right. I think I can. Ooh, no, I can't. Darn it. Ah, that was good. All right. I'm gonna do one more. One last one. Yeah, no, he doesn't want to play. All right. That's it for Blitz today. All right. That's pretty much it. But yeah, the market looks slightly down, but it's because people are worried about whether we're going to get this rate cut, but it looks like it's on the table. And then all the thing with the stuff with Russia and Ukraine, people are still uncertain about that and how that's going to play out. But I think in the next week or so, we should get some answers. And then, we got that Jerome Powell meeting this week, and that should be indicator, or whether it's bullish or not that we will get these rate cuts, and maybe there'll be some information on how much of a rate cut we'll get. But that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.